What is going on, everybody? It is episode 189 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here with my guest co-host for the day. Would you introduce yourself, please?
I would love to introduce myself. I am Sour Patch Lids, and I have not been on Timcast IRL the last couple nights. Been saving myself up for I'm just kidding. I was not saving myself up for Pop Culture Crisis. I had surgery on my wrist. Most of you guys probably already know. Woo, look at my swollen little dinosaur hand.
How you feeling?
Feels pretty good.
Feeling pretty good?
Yeah, it's good.
She's lying. She was saving herself up to guest host time. I told her she's going to have to both read super chats, talk about the topics, fill the money guns, and she's like, that's a lot to do all at once. Luckily, Lydia here is a master multitasker.
I do know how to multitask.
We call her that here. Mm-hmm. So we have a guest host today. Would you introduce yourself, sir?
The King of Cozy.
Hello, everyone. Dane Fun here. King of Cozy.
Yeah.
These colors don't run.
That's right.
Marketing man extraordinaire and the patron saint of White Boy Summer.
Have you seen that like video meme where it's like the lady, she's like coming back from Italy and she's like, oh my God, America's so awful. And then it cuts to like a Target run, a Starbucks cup. She's like, yeah. Red, white, and blue. These colors don't run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have charms here.
We do have charms
in the United States of America.
True.
So we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. We're going to talk about, I labeled it as Batgirl news because we're going to talk about the directors of Batgirl like trying to sneak their own footage out of stuff they filmed from the dailies with their cell phones. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this hilarious survey they did on what they think is going to happen, like if the Ezra Miller movie comes out, if the Ezra Miller Flash movie comes out. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about the future of Batman in the DCEU through Matt Reeves, which there's information on that. After we do that, we're going to talk about the internet's most controversial person right now, which is apparently Andrew Tate, and Dane has a lot of stuff to say on the topic of Andrew Tate.
I do too.
You do?
Good.
You got a lot of stuff to say?
Oh, yeah. I have some thoughts.
Are you a top G?
No.
You're not?
I am the opposite of whatever that is.
Okay. Well, Andrew Tate would say that's to be expected.
Yeah. Ladies.
It's because Lydia doesn't have a Bugatti.
That's because I'm a woman. Let's be real.
Exactly. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about the future of rap music, which is apparently artificially intelligent rappers. That sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And the response to it from the labels has been equally ridiculous. So if you guys are ready, we will just get right into it. Lydia, are we ready?
I'm very ready.
Dane, are we ready?
Not only am I ready, I'm pretty cozy.
Okay.
He's very cozy.
All right. We're going to get right into it. We're going to get into... Oh, wait. Did you want to do a chat formation?
Can I?
Did he? Yes.
I've got some chat here. We can do some chat.
Yes, let's do it.
I will start this one over.
I miss chat.
Let's see
so
what he has
much.
to say.
So you guys see what I said about mediocrity? How mediocrity will always criticize excellence?
Right.
Well, check this out. The most mediocre mind that you need to look out for is your own.
Whoa.
Whoa,
The
bird.
voice in your own head.
Okay, Dad.
I'm triggered.
It's okay. Fucking slack because you earned it. Because you've been getting after it for, what, a week?
You can't just work out for a week.
Come on.
2 weeks?
Good.
Naked Andy.
You earned it, right? You earned to go back to that booze.
No, you do not.
To roll up that blunt. To stuff your fucking face with food that's just taking you right
You
backwards.
leave the bad food alone.
From all the work that you've been doing. You earned the right to fucking sleep in as late as you want. Because
like
you put
the
in
attempt
a
at
minuscule
censoring.
fucking amount.
I know, right?
There was an
This
attempt.
is where you got it bad.
Like,
This is the mediocre mind within you.
leave my mind alone.
Taking control of the wheel and saying, I got this.
Jesus, take the wheel. He's right. Thank you.
Ooh, oh my, thank you already.
He's right about a lot of stuff there. Like one of the number one ways that people in like getting sober would lose it is like they would like do it for a while. And then anytime something small would happen in their life, they would think of it as like a way to treat themselves.
Yes.
Like, I've earned this.
It's the same with dieting.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I've been eating a bunch of carrot sticks. I guess I can have some carrot cake now.
You kind of have to use the bad elements as the goal almost. You can't like look for your old behavior as a reward for good behavior. You can't have old bad behavior be a reward for good behavior. You have to learn to accept the new behavior as what is good.
You have to come up with new rewards and stuff.
My diet strategy is pretty much from a top G, Joe Rogan, where he says that like 5 days a week I'm very cautious and like of what I eat, and I eat pretty much similar things.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 days I don't give an F.
Yeah.
There's also like a hilarious like diet culture thing where I love like the really, really attractive like female models that post pictures of themselves like with cheat meals, which is totally done to like emotionally manipulate people into thinking that you can look like they look while eating stuff like that all the time, which you cannot.
No one can do that.
You cannot do that.
Real.
So, all right, now that we are off to a fantastic start via chat, we are going to get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. So it says, Batgirl's directors tried to steal bootleg cell phone footage of the movie.
Okay, what?
First of all, I want to know this. Apparently it can be done both ways, but cell phone, one word, or cell phone, two words?
One word.
One word.
Right, Dane?
Dane?
Yes.
I don't know.
No.
I'm thinks.
I always thought it was two words.
It's two.
I had a video. I had like back before people were making skating edits with their phones. I was making such a thing and had a segment, like a series of YouTube videos called the cell phone sessions, and I always used cell phone as one word, and I would always get the little squiggly line underneath.
They thought it was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Whatever.
Stylistic. I digress.
There you go.
So it says after receiving news from Warner Brothers Discovery that they'd canceled their film late in production, Batgirl directors Adil El-Arbi and Bilal Fallah. I'm sorry, I don't know if that's how
great.
The second name.
You probably just committed a hate crime.
I found out that they had already lost complete access to the movie they'd worked on for so long.
Ooh.
According to a new interview, Fallah attempted to record even a bit of footage on their smartphone after being told that HBO Max would not allowed to be moving forward with the film. Wouldn't that be like a crime to
try to steal the footage?
Steal the footage, like even like secondary like that, like for what purpose, right?
My bigger question is who's they them on their smartphone? Is this another they them instance? I'm scared.
What do you? Oh, like what do you mean?
Is this their pronouns? They them?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think so.
not.
Oh, also, guys, before we move on, Mary is. She said she's hoping to be back tomorrow. So
Yes.
we are. I read in the chat that people are worried
We're
about her.
all down for the count.
The potato-borne illness
No.
is not good. Lydia's hurt. Dane looks like he's in the middle of the flu right now.
I'm thriving.
And I'm over here just like,
chilling.
look at these wusses over here.
know,
like
right?
they're all sick.
Surgery.
Yeah, surgery. My gosh. So it says. However, the directors discovered that the servers containing the work they had done was already locked away, which means that while Batgirl hasn't been destroyed, all the people who worked on the movie have absolutely nothing to show for it. That is not true. You got paid.
Interesting.
You made your money.
There you go.
You don't have.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, you don't have a right to something that you don't own. You don't own the movie. You were hired to make a movie, and they decide where that footage goes.
This strikes me as me being like, I own part of this company because I worked here. Definitely not the case. I'm happy to work here, but I don't own part of it.
I was literally thinking, I was like, we could do a skit where, like, I'm turning into Tim now, where I'm pitching skits live on air, where it's like you trying to like steal footage from like a secret IRL, and you're like, and then like Andy shuts down because even your husband gets used against you to like block you out of the server to not give you access to the footage.
Rude.
But like, isn't that insane that they confess to that? Like, isn't that a crime? It's like, I'm gonna steal intellectual property because I worked on it and I deserve it. It's like, no, you don't.
Might have wanted to sit on that one. I'm just saying.
That's a crime.
They also talked about how this was the shifting management strategy, and they thought that it was crazy that they would can a $90 million movie for a measly tax credit. That was in one of the articles I read. They said measly tax credit. $90 million on the movie, right? If you take the logical conclusion of marketing, that's budget times 1.5, which means about $45 million in marketing. They got $15 to $20 million in tax credits. So that's not a measly number. So they save the $45 million, and then they get $20 million back. That is a lot of money to say, because you have to look at the $45 million as a cost that hasn't been spent yet, but is all but official, right? So it doesn't make sense to look at the movie as they lost $90 million. It's that they saved $65 million,
right?
Because that $45 million cost would have been incurred either way if they had gone through with it.
Dude, I keep thinking, like, how bad must that movie have been?
So
because
bad.
like, pretty much 90% of movies are like gigantic dumpster fires.
Yeah.
And like
Must
this
have
one,
been so bad.
this one at least has like the Batman IP. Like I feel like so.
I don't think. I think he seems to be very set on the concept of strategy. He's canning a lot of stuff in their animation department because it's animation, because they're looking at the company as a whole with certain types of production that they're pushing forward strongly. So if you're doing HBO Max stuff, you're not doing movies. You're not doing HBO Max only movies. You're doing HBO Max television shows. If you're doing movies, they want those to be theater releases that then eventually go to HBO Max after they've been given a chance to make their money in the theaters.
Okay.
I still think something's gonna come from this. I still think that either they're.
I don't think they can legally release it now.
No,
because they got the money back on the tax credit.
I don't mean that. I mean maybe like a HBO series is like behind Batgirl or something.
That would be like very interesting to see if they could actually get everybody to come back in and and do so. It'd be even funnier if like a lot of times in their contracts they're like required to be part of like other parts of the production. Like they can't just be in the movie and go home. They have to do behind the scenes stuff for bonus features back when DVDs were a thing. It'd be funny if they made them come back in and honor their contract and make a documentary about like the making of Batgirl. It's just that Batgirl never came out.
That would be
I just keep thinking like regardless of how garbage it could be, like it would have made money.
I mean, it won't make any money because it's on HBO Max. There's no way to judge what that means.
Yeah.
The only way you can do that is by subscribers added. And the people that are championing this movie aren't people with money. They're people that want to brag on Twitter because the movie was checked all the right boxes. So I don't think it ends up making any money, and it wasn't a big enough production with a small enough and with too small of a name recognition as far as actors to really be beneficial in the theaters. Leslie Grace is gaining in popularity, but she's not an Ezra Miller as crazy as that is. Ezra Miller has a bigger profile than she does. Jason Momoa certainly has a bigger profile than she does.
I mean, he has a cult.
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
No, Ezra Miller.
Yes, Ezra. Like, I mean, just the children and the people that he keeps on his homesteaded property alone would account for a couple of ticket sales.
Seriously.
Right there. So beyond this, I thought this was very interesting, which is that they have now signed Matt Reeves, who directed The Batman, to a first look deal at Warner Brothers Pictures, which means that they get first dibs on any movie that he brings forward.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if that accounts to. I know that he had signed on to do more than one Batman movie. I do not know for sure, and somebody can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but maybe this counts as their announcement that they'll make the sequels. But just the other day, I was reading articles that were saying, why hasn't the sequel to The Batman been announced? It's the fourth highest grossing movie of this year, which is not saying that much. That's not saying much. It's Top Gun, Doctor Strange, and then I forget I had number 3. Jurassic World Dominion, and then The Batman.
Oh yeah, those are great.
I think they made a really big splash when they announced the movie with a pretty kick-ass trailer. Although, did they announce that like
which movie?
Glittering vampire guy was gonna be on the movie before the trailer?
Oh yeah,
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Well, it's now customary because the Batman, the role of Batman is kind of like the Joker in that there's like mystique around the hiring and firing of the actors.
Right.
So it's a big deal. Like when Ben Affleck got hired as Batman, the first thing they said go off social media and they say that to they told Robert Pattinson, they told Ben Affleck, they said, go off social media for 2 weeks. It's going to be a disaster for your,
Right.
I don't think that really mattered for Ben Affleck. He's like a boomer.
I don't know why
But,
Robert Pattinson's a better Batman than Ben Affleck.
I disagree with that.
You would.
I don't.
You
I didn't really
would.
I think Christian Bale is better than both of them.
Oh yeah,
but,
obviously.
But I like
Adam West.
Or at this point, I should say that Robert Pattinson played an okay Batman, but as Bruce Wayne, he just plays Batman with a suit on rather than.
I think Lydia's cast is a better Batman than Ben Affleck.
Which one? My cast? Oh yeah, agreed. It's pretty
you're
good Batman.
You're wearing a blanket live on air. What do you know?
What do you know about style?
Excuse me, an America blanket.
That's true.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I can't tell from here. That's America.
Yeah, okay.
So we does look like we're going to get those the other Batman movies. It's funny because they said he will be phased out after making his Batman. Like they said, Robert Pattinson's Batman will be phased out after making his trilogy. I'm like, that's not phased out. He just finished his job. Right, he doesn't need to. And then they were talking about it like that was like a big thing. I'm like, well, it's because none of the other actors since Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale have been able to actually finish a trilogy of just their movies. Henry Cavill had his one movie and then had to share it with Ben Affleck when they did Batman vs Superman and the Justice League. Ben Affleck never got his own movie at all. He only got Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, and then the Justice League cuts, and then he made and then Superman. Henry Cavill, they don't even allow him to appear as in like guest cameos. They keep doing the thing where they show him from like the shoulder down. They show Superman from the shoulders down, so they don't have to.
They don't have to show his face.
Yeah, they don't have to show his face.
That's
So
shady.
I keep thinking he'd be a good James Bond.
Cavill?
He's too bulky.
Oh,
he
really?
would need to lose some of the muscle mass.
He would need to soy up.
He would have to go for the swimmer's body
Yeah,
rather
true, it's
than
more
the
svelte.
yeah.
Why can't he be like a Giga Chat one?
because he'll look like the Hulk coming into that room with all the other people.
Based.
Sounds good to me.
I want Bond to go back to suave. I don't want Bond to be. He doesn't need to be Jason Bourne.
Okay.
I see.
That's fair.
So they've got the 10-year plan for it. And then this is the other thing that I really wanted to talk about, which is they did a survey talking about what people thought about Ezra Miller in The Flash and how it would affect the release of this film. And you get this handy-dandy graphic here. And basically it lists from left to right, it lists you so it gives you all of these different crimes. And then asks you what they think they should do. So it says release the film as is. That's the turquoise one. Blue is postpone the film but leave the original actor or actress in. I guess that's like a really ugly shade of mustard yellow. Postpone the film to refilm with a different actor or actress. And then maroon is cancel the film and never release it. The America.
I'm on that side, by the way.
Yeah.
America is very libertarian. Assuming this was done, U.S. moviegoers owning an unlicensed cannabis farm, 45% just said release the film as
nobody
is.
cares. Yeah.
The scary part is down here, way at the bottom, the crime listed is grooming children.
Yeah.
To create opportunities to abuse them. And 8% of the people just said, just release the film as is.
That's very few, to be fair. 49% of people said it should never be released. Other people said it should be postponed to be refilmed with a different person.
Well, that makes most sense. I mean,
it's
cancel
great.
it altogether doesn't really make any sense. Just put a new actor in it.
Sure,
Like that's,
yeah.
But you know, the initial reaction is to say like just cancel it altogether. And then leaving a firearm around children, 18%. We're just like, let it go. Let it release the movie. So, you know, I don't know what you guys think about this. What do you think they should do?
I mean, like scrap the project entirely at this point. I mean, release a Flash movie like slowly in the future once like the stink of this guy wears off.
I got it.
Good idea.
Swap the casts on Batgirl and The Flash. Don't tell anyone, and remake both movies. Ezra Miller gets to be Batgirl.
Yes, they them.
Leslie Grace gets to be The Flash.
Perfect.
And you just release the films that way.
Brett, you're a genius.
I like the way you think.
I know.
Let's do it.
So, this is, but I think that the movie's garnered so much press now that people are going to go see it out of sheer curiosity.
True. That's a good point.
Which is, and it's kind of the same thing you said for the Batgirl. Like making a documentary about it would work just because people are like ridiculously curious about what the hell happened behind the scenes.
How
but I
was
don't
it
think
so bad?
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it is more boring than you think. I think it comes down to business opportunities at the corporate level, which might be interesting to some people, but doesn't really make for interesting television.
I think as a company, you just have to like disavow this behavior. Like if people are disavowing the most, lowest common denominator opinions, that like I shudder to mention. But if you do that, like you can't accept this guy.
Thank you.
So
like, he's a freaking criminal.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like that. I'm thinking because all the other topics we're going to talk about today are going to kind of tie into that more. So it's like, where does the line of acceptable degenerate behavior get scrapped for different people? You know what I mean? Like there's different reasons as to why some behavior is allowed, some behavior isn't. I would argue that Ezra Miller's identity protects him from it as much as the concept.
100%.
And the concept of they've just sunk that much money into it, the tax credit wouldn't justify
That's
the
sunk
write-off.
cost fallacy.
Yeah.
Don't fall for it.
Oh no! Explain that to people. I know it, but explain.
So sunk cost is where you invest a certain amount and then you're like, oh, I have to follow through on this, even though it might be a total loss, just because you already invested.
But I don't think that this will be a total loss. I don't think there's enough there for it to be a total loss.
Yeah.
I think that we get blinded by the fact that, like, we're talking about it because I'm looking this stuff up and I'm bringing it to everyone's attention. The average person doesn't know this crap is going on.
True. Good point. We'll just have to run two parallel universes, one where this stuff didn't happen and one where this stuff did happen, and see what happens.
That would be a good episode of a show.
I love it.
Like where it's like you're just talking about, like, we could run simulations on whether would it be better for them to scrap it all together. But they've also given the ultimatum. He's got like a year. He's in rehabilitation right now for his mental health concerns. So they believe that with enough contrition, fake or otherwise, and enough time, that will justify, or not justify, but it will wash enough of the bad press away from it to make it viable, especially given that the mainstream press isn't covering it anyways.
True. Good point. Do you guys remember affluenza?
Rich people.
Oh, yeah.
A kid who got charged by being insanely drunk and hurting someone or killing someone, and he got like they called it affluenza because he'd always been rich.
Oh,
and it just kind of took it for granted that everything would go his way, and they charged him lesser for that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I
Wait,
remember
they charged him
being
lesser
like,
for what?
for being rich and have never
Not
having
because
never
of his lawyer? Not because you just had a good lawyer?
I don't know. They mentioned part of the reasoning. This was a while ago, so
Yeah.
you guys are welcome to fact check me on this. But it was a young male teenager who got into trouble with the law, and I remember the word affluenza being thrown around because he got charged so lightly given what he did. That's what this Ezra Miller thing feels like to me.
But does he have like they them Enza then?
No, it's gotten worse since then.
Identity Enzo, yeah.
Yeah.
I was always under the impression that affluenza was like rich people take for granted the fact that they have what they have.
So feelings of guilt, lack of motivation, social isolation experienced by wealthy people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not hard to believe.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Here's the kid. What's his name?
got
Drunk
it?
driver sentenced. Fort
Oh.
Worth judge to decide fate. Okay, anyway. Yeah. Same idea, very much so with Ezra Miller, though. I feel like he's just had too much privilege, and now he's just
Dude, that's
sick.
that's a lawyer you need. Where like
Yeah.
they can come up with some
I'm sorry.
bull excuse like that's like, well, actually, he's been rich all his life, so none of this means anything to him. Like, you know what? You're right.
You're right.
Like, are you kidding me?
That's pretty
Community
good.
service for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's do super chats.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here.
By the way, I'm going to give you a blanket permission to ahead of time to ignore anything from Bad App if so desire,
Okay.
if it offends your sensibilities.
Also, but
we'll
before
see.
you start, pancakes, waffles, or French toast in order.
Pancakes, waffles, or French toast? Waffles, French toast, pancakes.
Oh, God.
What? Is this a hot take? I don't know. Everyone's mad at
Waffle
me now.
Sensei might like you,
no.
but you're in
like
bad
waffles.
standing here now.
What's wrong with waffles? They're like the right texture.
They're not French
Oh,
toast, that's for
God.
sure.
French toast, pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, French toast is number 2.
French
and
toast.
then pancakes, because pancakes get soggy, in my view.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's
At least she has an
texture thing.
argument.
maybe
Yeah, it's a
that makes
texture thing.
that speaks to American gluttony because I just try to not put I just try to put less syrup on it so it doesn't get as soggy.
There you go.
Okay, here's the other thing. Do you put the syrup on top of it directly, or do you put like a puddle to the side and dip?
Just pour a little
You-
bit, like
you
a
put
little lace network.
So much syrup that you create a puddle on the side. It's the only way.
I used to put it on top. I no longer do that.
Like everything's
I put it
soggy.
on the side and
Yeah.
then dip.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we're losing the war.
That's why we're losing. That's why everything's gone to.
I
know.
heard that's
For
why
cowardice,
I
just
heard
like this.
why American exceptionalism is vanishing a little by little every day.
It's true.
Oh, God, Waffle Sensei's in chat. No.
no.
Oh, God, he's going to be empowered by this.
All right, we got this. Waffles it is. Waffle supremacy. Let's go. All right,
Dear
I'm going to
God.
read. Ready?
Jonathan
Harris says, good to be back, guys. I have an upcoming road trip with my sister, and I've been saving some PCC for this 12-hour drive. Nice work. Great planning. You
There-
got this.
There was a super. I've taken to. I usually don't have time to watch IRL or all of
Yeah.
IRL, but I have taken to watching the last 30 minutes. So that
Oh,
I
yeah.
love the super chat.
Me
segments,
too.
Right?
That's so fun.
And there was a super chat about how they were thankful for PCC, but they want a gaming channel, and I do think that they
Yeah.
need to. I think that Tim needs to set up a gaming channel and
Dane would be great with that.
but quick.
I agree.
But
I
quick.
agree. Yeah. All right. Caper2X says, time for plan B. We need a plastic bubble for Mary and her potato cooties. Dane can roll her places. Get well, Lydia, and prop your arm. I'm trying. Stop holding
Everybody
it like
is
this.
hurt. Like
I know. We're all like injured or out sick. Andy's sick too. Oh my gosh.
There
it's
could be
ridiculous.
like a
I'm
segment
just
where
sick.
Yeah. Okay.
and I'm over here just like dodging, like it's like
dodging bullets.
everyone.
You're
Yeah,
like
I'm
Neo
not-
over there.
but it's like I'm whistling and just walking straight, and it's like missing me without me realizing that it's happening.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
You do get sometimes injured, but it just doesn't show up in like a surgery. Or
Well,
whatever.
I do this thing where I'm not a bitch.
Oh yeah, that
so
works too. That's pretty good too.
That's what helps.
Now, my fractured radius
Yeah.
kind of proved that I was not being a B word either,
that-
even though I'm a lady. I'm just saying. All right, the next question is from C. Lynn. It says, did Brett fire Hannah Claire?
No,
No?
I
We
asked.
love Hannah
I did.
Claire.
I asked
Okay.
Hannah Claire if she wanted to do so today, and she's like, "Look, I got a lot of stuff going on." She's
Yeah.
like, "But here's the thing, though. She's so nice. She goes, but I absolutely can if you absolutely need me."
Oh,
And I said,
no.
"Nope, we will forge ahead without you, but we miss you."
Yeah. All right. Next one. Let's see. Did I lose my place already? I'm doing great with this. Thanks, guys. Oh, Johnny Bach just sent $3 and a little thumbs up, which I can't do. This is such an insult.
Yeah,
I'm so triggered. I can't do it.
He was
Do
totally
it.
like
really trying.
that was very much a
So
bit of
rude.
like what would that term be? That would be ableist.
Yeah. That's
Lydia,
very
just
ableist.
heal already.
I'm trying. Gosh. I do feel better than yesterday. 1,000 Foot Deep End says The Flash should be scrapped. People have been canceled for far less than what EM has done. I agree.
Yeah,
Same.
I
absolutely.
agree.
I mean, like I said, I don't know about scrapped. I think like the other actors in the movie didn't do anything wrong. Like
Right.
maybe
That's true. It's not their fault.
I mean, I know it would be if the idea here is scrapped or nothing. Then maybe like just rehire a new Flash actor and let those people work, or give them the option. Like, look, we can have you refilm it, but we can't pay you more,
Right.
Or like, or we can
That's
only pay. You know
tough.
what I mean? Like,
Give
because
them
they've
the
already done the
choice,
work.
yeah.
They always have to film reshoots, and I don't know how that
Woo,
works
thank
in
you,
the
guys.
industry. Like, as far as like, do they get like additional payouts? Like, but I'm guessing like when it's in your contract, it's like you work for us for this amount of money until the film is done and out. So
Yeah.
it's like it would just be like the most insane amount of reshoots in history.
Yeah.
But it would give them the option, like, look, we can recast you too, but if you want this to come out and be attached to such a big name project, you're gonna have to do more work.
Right,
So
exactly.
there's more people to consider than just Ezra Miller.
Yeah, for sure. Good point. I will read this one from Bad App. It says, Liz broke her wrist caring for her Sour Patch. I did not break my wrist watering my garden or writing on my Substack, which is also called the Sour Patch. You guys can check that out if you so desire. That is not how I broke my wrist. I broke my wrist rollerblading with Andy. So, Dizwiz has a comment that I can't fully understand. It says, Ezra as Batgirl, question mark. You mean, damn them bad. Explain this, Brett.
Ezra as Batgirl.
Oh,
You mean-
Ezra.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Not Batman.
Yep.
Bat them.
Bat
Gotcha.
them.
Okay.
Them-
Okay, I
them
get
bat.
it. That's awesome.
We're being rude today, ladies and
I know, I
gentlemen.
agree.
I feel guilty half the time. We did a segment yesterday about Harry Styles and the concept of queer baiting, and even making the thumbnail, I feel bad, like making
Feel
it
like dirty.
Yeah, well, you know, because I don't want to insult anyone.
That's
and
fair.
and I try to be cordial and polite. I was thinking back to like if I ever got like if somebody got mad at this show for stuff that gets said. One, I'm not going to remember it anyways because we talk.
Right.
I'm literally talking 5 days a week for multiple hours. Like you're going to have thousands of hours of stuff to go through.
Right.
But it's like I would like to think that most of my opinions are so like milquetoast, middle of the road that like the only way you're going to be able to catch me in like a you got you in like an I got you moment would have to be like taking it severely out of context.
Yep, exactly. And you have plenty of context based on the thousands of hours of speaking. Jonathan Harris says, I'd see a James Bond meets Jason Bourne movie. So would I. That sounds great.
I rewatched the original Bourne the other night. It gives me like the all of the
It's great,
shaky
right?
cam still gives me like a
Matt
stomachache.
Damon.
Matt Damon's pretty good.
He's pretty good. Hobbit says the movie should have been scrapped in a flash. Haha. Correct.
That was very clever.
I agree. Russell Thander says they should rename her the Flash to Batman or something.
Or if it's Ezra, the last thing you want is an Ezra in something called the Flash Man because he does not need to be around kids in something called the Flash Man. That's bad. It's
Yeah,
bad.
that's not going to work for me. Bad App says Brett talks Ezra and Batnips like Tim talks Civil War.
I do not. I mean, like
Maybe.
not Batnips, but Ezra, yes. Hey, when he stops being in the news, we will stop talking about
We
it.
cover it because it's in the news.
It's in the
Same
news.
with Civil War. Put it that way.
Pretty much.
Hobbit says Lydia is correct about waffles, French toast, and pancakes. Thank you. It is the only correct take. I fully agree.
French toast, pancakes, waffles.
Oh, no. Okay. Agree to disagree. Oh, Bad App says 1, Taco Bell breakfast. Who's arguing with that? I think
I've
Taco
never
Bell
had-
breakfast.
Never had
is-
it.
I've heard
I don't
good
know,
things.
It sounds scary. I don't know if I'd try
I make
it.
a good frittata.
I believe it.
That I believe.
I do too. Frittatas are fun. Dragon's Talon 1001 says you could do a pop culture crisis short with Mary, the girl in the plastic bubble. LOL. Yes, I love it.
We are going to need to
Spoilers.
heal her.
Yeah, right.
When she comes back, though, I mean, maybe she will be like twice as powerful.
She needs like that head thing, the helmet thing.
Yep.
Yes, 100%.
Like I was watching the other day, like it was like the best moments during the pandemic, and it was all the people going out looking ridiculous. And my favorite is the guy who surrounded himself with like pool floaties that were exactly 6 feet apart, so that he was like he had a circumference of 6 feet around him.
I love
My
that.
favorite was like a Latina lady that had like sponges in her mouth.
Good work, everyone.
Hey, she survived, I think.
The
Yeah,
world we
sure
live
did.
in.
False God Dark Soul says Lydia just stop being injured. # the more you know. I'm really trying. It is feeling better.
It's like saying if you're poor, buy a house.
yeah,
If
exactly.
you
I'm
can't
worried
afford
about it.
gas, buy a Tesla.
Yeah, exactly. Waffle Sensei, yes.
Ugh.
Waffle supremacy is forever. This is Waffle House. Yes, like this is Sparta. Lydia, you're a legend on Timcast. Thanks for making it all work, girl. Suck it, Dave.
Shut up, waffles.
He should have I wonder if he could have his own genre of music called like Waffle House.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
house music,
like
but
house
like for
music.
waffles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me
I
and
love
waffles need to get into a charity fight at some
Dude,
point.
Yeah, I agree.
I spent the day. We're going to talk about it later. There's an artist named Lil Bitcoin
Oh God!
What?
and Crypto Chris, who I listened to 2 songs by today, and I literally got stupider. I'm
Imagine.
SoundCloud rappers.
They're not real people.
Oh, okay.
They're not.
That's right.
They're not. None of them are real people.
Oh,
We're gonna talk about it later.
That's going to be fun. All right, just a couple more.
Yep.
John Harrison says, being rude is energy efficient. 43 muscles to smile, 17 to frown, only 4 to extend the middle finger. Hey.
All right.
That's not wrong.
The other one that's going around lately is like the video memes where it says like, it doesn't cost you anything to be nice.
Does it cost you anything to be mean?
Nope.
Both free. Last one. Jonathan Harris. Wendy's breakfast, especially the maple chicken. I have heard good things.
Have you guys the Burger King like fresh toast sticks?
Those
Those
are pretty
hella
good.
slap.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
But I
Pretty
mean, a McDonald's breakfast with the hot cakes.
yes,
incredible.
It's pretty good
Incredible.
too. Pretty good.
All right, guys, we are going to move on, and this is going to make Dane very, very happy.
Oh
ladies
boy,
and gentlemen.
let's go.
So it says, Andrew Tate says he was playing a comedic character after being banned from all of social media.
That's what they all say.
So, Dane, why don't you give, for the people who don't know who Andrew Tate is, I'm sure there's at least one person in the chat who doesn't know who Andrew Tate is. Why don't you explain to everyone who he is?
Okay, so my elevator pitch for the guy is basically he is like the Hassan Piker of the MRAs.
That's fair. That's
Like,
fair.
He's got a grift.
Oh, yeah.
He's sticking to it.
It's absolutely a multi-level marketing scheme.
Oh, he knows what he's
Hustlers
doing.
University is not a real thing.
I mean, it is a real thing.
But I'm saying, but it's not like you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not like in good faith. It doesn't feel like to me.
I mean,
make your money. Hey,
hey, Matt, like
I'm as close to
I'm not paying
laissez-faire as it gets, my friend. You make your money.
I'm not paying it. But the thing is, so he's a former kickboxing world champion,
That part I didn't know till today.
world-renowned misogynist,
Yep.
and basically the Hassan Piker of the MRAs. So the reason why I wanted to talk about him on the show is because he really shows the double standards we have in society in like a trillion different ways.
I was going to say double standards and hypocrisy are kind of like the
Yeah.
case du jour for today.
It's true. Yeah. How do you figure, Dane?
So first of all, like as we're learning from like She-Hulk, like misandry is all the rage.
That is du jour for sure.
Like not only can you like threaten guys like constantly and like not only like threaten like bodily harm but to like end their lives, and it's like Yas Queen.
Yeah.
Like this guy is giving like takes that pretty much any like religious figure from another country would take, and it's interesting on multiple levels. So like if you're on the internet, you can't avoid him, and like here's some opinions that I've heard from him. Number one, most Christians are hypocrites because they don't stick to the letter of the Bible. Number two, Islam is like the last religion because like most of them do like stick to the letter of the law.
Yeah, but they also they treat theirs. Christianity treats it as a moral framework, and Islam treats it as an actual
a legal
rule of
framework.
law.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Like second, like third, basically he's like just common, like lowest common denominator, like pretty much what everyone, like all the MRAs say, except he's like jacked and rich. So when he says it, it adds like a layer of I wouldn't say legitimacy. Yeah.
This is what I want to say. The narrative to that runs contrary to his is literally the entirety of the establishment, right? So every level of society is pushing a feminist, or I don't want to say misandrist, but a female perspective.
Oh, it's definitely misandrist.
Okay, so
yeah,
it's masculinity is toxic. Femininity is somehow bad too, because you should want to act like men if you're a woman.
What?
Everything in his is talking like, and I'm going to give you the most charitable definition of his stuff, which is like traditional gender roles are a thing. Men should lead women. Blah blah blah. Whatever. The narrative pushing back against him is every level of society. It's in entertainment. It's in academia. It's in our social media. It's in every level of society. But they're still so afraid of this one dude that they want to just completely get rid of his voice.
And there's so many contradictions. Like for like, I'm sure you've heard like sex work is real work.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Right.
many times.
Well, he's like a giant employer of sex workers.
Yeah.
You know, like
There you go.
you know,
Empowering.
and like everyone knows that that's not necessarily my opinion, but it's the fact that why is misogyny allowed in mainstream hip hop
Yes.
and not from him?
Well, yeah, what he's like, the same things that he's parroting are the same things that will be spoken of in rap lyrics. And like he says in this right here, he says, I'm playing a comedic character. Now,
And he is in a lot of senses.
does he, like I said, do I know if he is? Do I believe he is? Maybe, maybe not. I do believe that anytime you put yourself in front of a camera like that and you're showing ostentatious jewelry, you're portraying yourself in a certain way, it may be you, but it's like they said with professional wrestling, like the best characters are you turned up to a power of 11, right?
Yeah.
So he's over-exaggerating who he is for the camera, but that's still playing a character. How is that any different in a world where the metaverse is now blending with the real world? How is that any different than violent, misogynistic song lyrics that we hear all the time?
There's so many critiques you can give him. Like, for example, like you can say he's inconsistent because like he talks about like how men should like protect women and like
I have to ask.
and look
Before we move on, speaking of like protecting women, I keep hearing things about him being like a human trafficker.
Okay, I looked into that. So they
What's up
like
with this?
he
That I don't know.
He got like his house in Romania, I believe, got raided in April,
house in Romania.
saying that for links to sex trafficking. Obviously, there has been no prosecution. He's not in jail. None of that stuff. And then, in fact, I have that in this other article. This was the one that I found the most interesting because, let me see what the specific part that I was talking about. We'll come back to that one. Okay, so it says, the allegations have been raised against Tate as of late are simply adding fuel to the flame of his public persona imploding. Tate's home was reportedly raided by police with an investigation into human trafficking. Despite this report, there have not been any formal charges raised against the former boxer with regard to human trafficking at the time of writing. Another allegation being raised against Tate is that his online courses, dubbed Hustlers University 2.0, is actually a multi-level marketing scheme. So it's
Shock.
like, it's what's it, Mary Kay for men. It's
Yeah.
Mary
yeah,
Kay
dude.
for men.
Like so.
Yeah.
like-
Avon, yeah.
So that one I actually like. If there was one that I would buy into a claim of like being like fraudulent or a crime, I would believe way more that there's a crime being committed in his business than the idea of him human trafficking.
Right. And so like the
That's
thing
fine,
is,
yeah.
the gripe that I have to him is like the same thing I have with Trump is like they never get him in the areas that they should.
Yeah,
Like first of all,
they turn them into overblown cartoon character villains.
Yeah.
he talks about protecting women, but yet like he owns like like a chat whatever. I don't know what I can get off saying here on YouTube, but like a women chat company, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink.
Right.
So he talks about that.
An after-hours chat
I
show.
want to read his statement. So it says, it's very unfortunate that old videos of me where I was playing a comedic character have been taken out of context and amplified to the point where people believe absolutely false narratives about me. In the last 2 weeks, I dedicated over $1 million to charities supporting women. I posted this on Instagram, but Instagram ignored it. Internet sensationalism has purported the idea that I am anti-women when nothing could be further from the truth. He continued, this is simply hate mobs who are uninterested in the facts of the matter, trying to personally attack me. They twist the facts and produce fancy documents full of half-truths and lies to attack people they don't like.
We do know they do this.
Elsewhere, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if this is a good guy or a bad guy. I just know that these tactics are well documented, and I don't take anything at face value anymore.
Right.
It says, elsewhere in Tate's statement, he bragged that he'll always have 1 million fans around the world and said his online platforms are a beacon of light teaching people of all genders and races how to respect one another for years to come.
Maybe not.
Somehow I am the villain when all of my posts were Bible verses and charitable donations. Banning me only inspires more internet hate mobs and more division. They will become a weapon of attack for different points of view for the foreseeable future.
I agree on that last
And
point.
we saw this before. You get rid of the alt-right people, and what they do is they dress it up nicer. Tim's talked about that a million times.
Oh, yeah.
And then the only people left are the ones who hide it better, right? So
True,
you
yeah.
cannot battle his arguments. Especially, it's almost embarrassing for a mainstream establishment to not be able to push back against a guy's ideas when you have every level of society parroting what you believe. if you are intelligentsia, if all of the people who are supposed to be your thought leaders can't come back on one dude who talks about having a Bugatti, then maybe you're just embarrassing at building up your own like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
maybe just by virtue of the fact that he is more considered like to be like a contrarian voice, it comes off as more organic, whereas everything to the contrary feels very much as if the establishment is pushing it on you. But they should be able to push back on this dude's ideas if they're so bad.
Yeah.
I think misogyny is only allowable, according to these people, if they can make a profit off it.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know, like Jay-Z talks about selling drugs. Jay-Z talks about like objectifying women nonstop. He literally calls us Jehovah or Jova, like, or something, like, which is like a name for God or something. Hova.
Jeez,
and it's like he's cool.
Yep.
And so, like, how is, like, I just want consistency is what I mean. It's like, why is society, you know, like,
maybe it's because he's, like I said, maybe it's because he's getting the money for himself and there isn't like an establishment group taking a cut.
Maybe that's dawning on me. Yeah,
they're more willing to look.
There's no record company.
They don't care about values. They care about being able to profit off of what you say.
Right. Record companies profit off Jay-Z big time. Andrew Tate's doing it for himself, which I think might be why they have such a big problem with him. I will say he looks a little bit like Napoleon Dynamite. He has a really weird physical shape. No judgment, but
Andrew Tate looks like Napoleon Dynamite.
He does. Look at his mouth. It's like,
no way, dude. Let me look at him.
Look at it. I'm serious. The one where he's in the pool looks exactly like Napoleon Dynamite when he goes out to feed Tina.
There's a paragraph here that really bothered me, and I want to mention it. So this is from the Distractify article. It says, another allegation being raised against, down there. So they talk about the Hustlers University course, blah, blah, blah. And then it says, even if the aforementioned claims about Tate aren't true, meaning human trafficking or running a fraudulent business, even if those claims aren't true, there is plenty of evidence to support his deplatforming from major social media channels. By spreading hate speech, Tate has influenced an entire generation of perpetually online young men to propagate ideas that encourage violence against women and have no place in modern society, as perfectly expressed by the group of teachers on Reddit worried about the impact on their students. I'll tell you what, I read that stuff from the teachers on Reddit. I didn't believe any of it.
Well, can you give like a spark notes?
They were like,
thank you.
Let me see if I can. They might.
They're just like, it's influencing my fifth graders to be mean to ladies.
Yeah.
And they're like quoting Jordan Peterson or something. It's the end of the world.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I know. Imagine. Right. Terrible.
I think that I had 8 years ago, I had girls that wouldn't stop talking about Chris Brown. Instead of telling them not to talk about him, I simply planted thoughts. You challenge them. You actively teach them by making them think about it. Shutting them down simply makes them do it more. This person's actually making a perfect argument to not ban him.
Right.
And if you try to do a formal write-up, most admins will admonish you over it. You know what I said to those girls? I said, you don't like it when men beat women so bad they need to go to the emergency room? Every time some goober said something about Chris Brown after that, some girl called them down, they policed themselves. That language is creepy.
It is, but I kind of understand this is cultural enforcement, and you do want people to be informed. I think if people bring up Andrew Tate, you should be like, hey, did you hear about X, Y, and Z?
Here's the next
on this.
After I read that, the next response is, that is basically what I had to do when some of my high schoolers asked opinions of Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson.
Wow.
In one of these articles, they put Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson in the same category of manosphere men's rights activists. I love the idea of a Jordan Peterson, Andrew Tate sit down.
That'd be great.
And I want, at the end, to have him ask Jordan Peterson, what color is your Bugatti?
So, but like, what that's laying down is essentially the biggest crime he did is focusing on men.
Yeah. You're not allowed to do that.
That's hate speech.
And not to mention the idea that men should lead women, which, you know, when taken to its farthest, most unreasonable conclusion, is them saying that he's saying that men control women, when that's not actually what he's saying.
Right.
Or, actually, I shouldn't say that. I haven't watched enough of his stuff to know for sure what everything he said. But the obvious implication of that is that men were put on this earth to be protectors.
Right.
The thing is,
that's
like,
a charitable view.
If any non-Western minority would say, let's say like 90% of what Andrew Tate said, like libs here would be like, oh, that's just their culture. Like, let's allow them, whatever. But with him, since he's like from Western backgrounds, like he's a misogynist, he's this, is that, and it's like, you know, something like, let's be honest, like some things he says, like straight up misogynist, like 100%.
And I'm not saying
like
that
he said,
good dude. I'm saying that the dude shouldn't be barred off the internet because of vague concepts like hate speech. Yeah,
but like what I'm saying is that their condescension and what was George Bush's quote, like the soft bigotry of low expectations, is really on display, because essentially what they're saying is that if you're Western, you should know better. And if you're not Western, well,
you don't know any better.
It's just their culture.
You're not very smart.
It's just
their culture.
You're a little baby, and like we have yet to guide you.
Yeah, good point. That's a great point.
There's also a really funny Bounding Into Comics article where it says TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube ban influencer Andrew Tate for hateful ideology and dangerous views about women, but allow the promotion of child mutilation. In this, they're referring to gender-affirming surgery.
I will say that they are correct in calling out this vicious double standard, because they really do promote gender-affirming nonsense, and they cut down people like Andrew Tate. If you're going to allow gender affirmation, you need to allow this crazy whatever this guy thinks, honestly.
The best thing that they can do is, like, I think part of it is also like it's not necessarily what he's saying that's so dangerous to them. It's that he's found a way to be charismatic and attract an audience. And they don't have somebody that can run counter
of
to
men.
that.
Jordan Peterson did that too.
Yeah.
It's the same problem Jordan Peterson had.
Exactly.
Yeah, even though they're saying like opposite things, I think.
Dude, do you guys remember? I think it was a Vice article, and it was the ultimate in snark. It was like 24/7 snark about like, I think like a Vice reporter that attended a Jordan Peterson conference, and like his first major gripe was like, these people were wearing suits. They were like dressing up for a night, like for a formal night. Could you believe this? It's like,
one of my biggest issues with a lot of these articles, and I've had to make sure to not fall into the same pattern when I'm making stuff, is like, I hate the snark. Like one of these articles literally included the term like sigh.
Please.
They put in parentheses, they put sigh.
Can I just say, as someone who loves to write, that is just sickening to me. Like, don't be gross. You're not a child. You need to write like an actual adult and write complete sentences and not throw in sigh. You're not a teenager. Anyway,
So
pet peeve, it turns out.
they're not. I mean, like the whole like journalism right now is essentially like shitty millennial takes on Facebook, like in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It's all like, yikes, yo, can you believe that this person this sus?
Yep.
Like, is this an article from the New York Times? Yes it is.
Sad.
So basically, they talk about. I just want to cover the Hustlers University thing one more time. So it says the social media phenomenon gained internet fame through posting what has been considered controversial content encouraging masculinity, which was predominantly aimed at young men. Tate promoted his online money making course, Hustlers University, which ran an affiliate program. Oh, those are dangerous words. That encouraged members who paid $49.99 a month to receive money making tips. The most effective being to create controversial content of Tate and repost it onto social media platforms. Hustlers University
sneaky.
members were paid a cut of the membership fee to recruit new members through their social content, essentially making it a multi-level marketing scheme.
That's exactly what that
Tate's
is.
methodology to pay Hustlers University members to create new content of him was extremely effective, making him one of the most searched people on the internet. It's
pretty clever.
So, if anything, he's just a clever businessman with a very clear not grit.
Very
grift,
clear
yeah.
You can call it
directive.
grift.
It's exactly what he wants to do.
He's
pretty
it's
upfront
a
about
grift,
it.
So,
But it's like, bro, like survivor of the fittest. Like,
Yep.
They're
like
pretty
seriously,
good, yeah.
like if you're in the year of the Lord 2022 and you're still falling for shit like this, like, come on.
I mean, there's
And
people who stand celebrities for free.
he's
Yeah, true.
this group is basically Nancy Pelosi and her husband,
Yeah.
because apparently what they do is like their own form of insider trading. It's like, we're gonna buy this, we're gonna sell that, and it's like, well, you know, that's basically every single crypto forum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like an argument against subscribing to the damn thing.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
'cause,
That's fair.
like, you have access to Reddit for free, I guess.
Yep.
All right, let's do some super chats.
All right. Gold Mecro says, Lydia, I hope you're healing up fast. I am. I feel better even today than I did yesterday.
A little bit better every day. That's all we
That's
can
right.
hope for.
A little bit at a time. Gold Macro also says, every time I hear his voice, Tate, I feel slightly more sickened with life, for every good take he has is just swimming in a sea of filth. This is kind of what I came away with. I recorded my thoughts, even though I haven't seen a lot of him, because everyone wanted a quick take. So I was like, look, I watched a video of him walking up to a bunch of thoughts on the the street. And he asked them a question that only a thought would answer in a very thoughty way. And I'm like, oh, look at that. These ladies who are dressed just like thoughts and who are out on the street late at night coming home from a bar, they're thoughts. That's amazing, isn't it? And if you hang out with people like that, you're going to meet people like that. And I said that you get you attract what you put out. And I think that's very much the case with Tate. Admittedly, in his case, it is kind of a grift where he wants to attract people like that. So we can say, oh, these people are terrible. They're horrible.
Social media makes this more like viable too, because it rewards over the top incredulous behavior.
Right.
So that type of over the top persona will always gain traction.
Right. And I understand. I know how it's I know how
you just have to be like, take responsibility for your own actions and understand that that a person like this, like, you have to do your research and know who they are before you get too invested and so like. But I'm weary to get too invested in any person. Like into an individual, right? Yeah. Like there's ideas that I fully back and believe in the concepts of, but I'm not going to attach that to an individual.
Right.
Yeah, like I'm not like super pro Andrew Tate. I find him hilarious, honestly, because he is hilarious.
Yeah, sure.
But the thing is, like, what drives me off the wall is the pearl clutching. Like, I'm just so tired of like all the pearl clutching in the society when like deeply like even more nefarious things in society get like clapped on every day.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I don't like the hypocrisy either. Jonathan Harris says Andrew Tate should just hire a rapper to spread his message.
Oh my God.
Andrew Tate is a ghostwriter for Drake. Yes,
dude.
There we go.
If he just took like, he records a video of him saying what he says, but then he turns it into a song, and then suddenly it's
remix
fine.
it.
Yeah, Drake's like,
I mean, this is like what, like, there's a bill in Congress right now that's to prevent the like prosecutors from being able to use rap lyrics as confessions.
Oh wow!
In
I know they've
court.
been used as that.
So
before.
like, if he's like, well, of course you can't accuse me of misogyny. It was a song.
Exactly.
It was a song.
Genius.
It was art.
Genius. All right,
and then he can sell them on his platform and make a ton of money.
That'd be great. He could start his own record label. There you go. Andrew, if you're listening, this is the way out.
Free idea for you.
You're welcome. We'll take royalties.
I want I want a Bugatti.
Yeah, for sure.
Same.
I do need a Bugatti for sure. Rascal King says, y'all make this last few hours of work better. Thanks. You're very welcome.
That is, every time we get a comment like that, it makes my day, because there has been a lot of podcasts that have like made my day, like when I'm working, that are how you get through those days.
Yeah.
So that's like a big accomplishment to be able to do that for other people.
Yeah, for sure. Hava Owen says Red Bar made Tate cry. I don't know about that.
I don't know what that is.
Not sure who Red Bar is.
The other thing was I watched that one clip and I was like, that's got to be like the clip of him like talking to like the girl on like
oh
Zoom.
yeah.
So is that like the worst thing he's ever done?
The worst thing I've seen, like 100%, is like he's on a stream and he's talking to like I think like a 17-year-old girl, and he's like basically like, I know a guy you should talk to when you're 18, and that's like, come on, dude, like what the hell?
That's not cool.
Like that's freaking gross. Like 100%.
Is that it's him, right?
The implication is gross.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Oh wait, I lost my place. Hava Owens. Okay, hold on. Oh, Bad App had a good point here. If you live in Romania, you're doing something shady.
That is true.
That's
Probably
a fair point. Why do you have a house in Romania? I'm just saying. And then we have Jonathan Harris. Yeah. Vote for Pedro Tate. Great point. I agree. Hava Owen says he's not right wing. He just scams the suckers.
Here's the thing, though.
Suckers on both
sides. Any idea now that runs counter to it's actually, if anything, that's proof that the general default position of society is left to far left, that any idea that gets pushed regardless of political ideology that runs counter to what the mainstream narrative is automatically gets labeled as right-wing, which if anything is just tacit proof that an admission that what they believe is left to far left ideology.
Yeah, exactly. Jonathan Harris says Andrew Tate on Lex Friedman. That could be interesting.
That would be very interesting.
Imagine Lex
I'm telling you, Andrew Tate, Lex Friedman, Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan roundtable, and watch everyone's heads explode.
That'd be fun.
But
break the internet.
But like the difference in charisma between both of them is just like stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Lex Friedman?
We don't have enough hours in the day.
Oh, okay. Lots of feelings there.
Hot
Are they
takes.
good? Bad?
We don't have enough hours in the day.
Okay, anyway. Somebody says Lydia on them painkillers. I'm not on painkillers. I am speed running. I had a little extra coffee today just for you guys. I knew I'd be doing super chat, so here we go. False God Dark Soul says, Hustler you, misogyny is self-care, LMAO.
Self-care is an inside joke here now.
Is self-care.
I despise the term self-care.
I respect it. Well, misogyny is self-care.
Self-care is just narcissism dressed up nicer.
I agree.
It's like calling having sex making love.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Sounds like
it's just marketing,
yeah,
right, Dane?
It's just
What say you, marketing man?
Yep.
I think there's a difference.
I think there's difference too, but it's kind of a matter of opinion. Dragon. I can't. Now I'm all distracted.
It's
with
very
all this
hard to
money.
work. Like I've gotten
my
fairly
gosh.
good at like pretending like there isn't like a huge
Huge
stream
amount
of
of
money
money going
going
by your
forward,
face.
but it takes some time to get used to.
I love it. Okay, Liz sounds like she's on the coffee. I do. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to fit everything in. Dragonstown 1001 says personal accountability. You don't want to hear his message. Just turn the channel or turn off the computer. Don't censor people. Of course
Dude, like
not.
for real.
I agree.
It's not that hard.
It's really not.
It's not that hard. Like maybe it's because I'm also very, very like guarded with what I share on social media.
I hadn't
outside
seen anything
of
from
like,
him.
But I'm saying like even like we follow each other on social media. I don't ever post anything that would ever be seen as like politically offensive because I just don't care to do so. But I see plenty of it that I both agree with and disagree with, and when I read it, I just go on about
You're
my
like,
day.
how about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
And who made these people like the hall monitors of like existence?
They are hall monitors. It's true.
Yep.
I hate it. Somebody says Bugatti sounds like a sore you get on your butt. I completely agree. Don't want a Bugatti. Better off without it. Thanks, though.
This is true. All right, we are gonna wade into this. Is gonna be an interesting one, guys. A
Let's
very
go.
very interesting one. So
By the way, like brief parenthesis, like Lydia's the most efficient super chat reader
she is.
Gotta
ever.
read fast.
She
Gotta
is.
go fast.
So, guys, there's a rapper named FN Mecca, I believe
Oh
it's
my
pronounced
God.
Mecca, who just got hired and then fired from Capitol Records. The problem with it is that FN Mecca is not a person. FN Mecca
What?
is an artificially intelligent algorithm created by a company and was fired for racist language.
What?
Just like
Nobody
Mary.
is safe.
This is amazing.
Like imagine like what is the number one fear that Elon Musk always like propagates? He's like artificial intelligence. Got to be afraid of artificial intelligence. I want to see a movie now where an evil artificial intelligence takes over the world and then gets canceled for being mean.
Do you guys remember the Microsoft AI when the first iteration
Oh, yeah.
came out?
Yep.
They turned it loose on the internet, and within like an hour,
It became
was
alt-right.
full on
Yep.
Nazi.
So
Horrible. Amazing.
So
Same
we're gonna
energy.
get right into, so it says, Capitol Records severs ties with AI rapper FN Mecca, apologizes to the black community for insensitivity. Activist groups like Industry Blackout have described the project as a direct insult to the black community in an open letter earlier on Tuesday. Capital Music Group on Tuesday said that it has severed ties with AI rapper FN Mecca after facing pushback from an activist group. CMG has severed ties with the FN Mecca project, effective immediately, a Capital Music Group spokesperson told The Hollywood Reporter. We offer our deepest apologies to the black community for our insensitivity in signing this project without asking enough questions about equity and the creative process behind it.
Come on.
We think those who have reached out to us with constructive feedback in the past. We thank those who have reached out to us with constructive feedback in the last couple of days. There is no such thing as constructive feedback in this space, guys. There is only do what we say or else, phrased in a more polite manner.
Dude, like what? Why does anyone need an AI generated influencer? Like there are billions upon billions of people on TikTok right now willing to shill literally anything.
I'll tell you what.
Literally anything.
Because it keeps all the money in house. Then you're not paying out.
Yeah.
Understood, but it's like, damn. You know, I always talk about how art is dead because like we live in an era where all essentially the struggles are internal and like you really can't. Our war is spiritual, and if you talk about our spiritual war, that's like, you know, fast track to getting censored. And it's like, it's gotten to the point where now art, which should be like pretty much like one of the last things that should be automated. Like now they're talking about like virtual influencers. Like what the hell, dude?
There's like algorithmically created music now. I know that there's absolutely that record labels use algorithms to figure out what
sure they
songs
do.
will be popular, which
Yeah.
ones won't. This is my inside joke, is late stage capitalism. That's what this is. So it says, but in an open letter shared earlier on Tuesday, the activist group Industry Blackout, which represents a group of black industry professionals, described the FN Mecca project as being a, quote, quote, direct insult to the black community and our culture by being an amalgamation of gross stereotypes and appropriative mannerisms that derive from black artists, complete with slurs infused in lyrics.
The entire genre of hip-hop is an amalgamation of racist stereotypes.
May I just say, I scrolled down and I see Fetty Wap facing at least 5 years in prison, and I see R. Kelly going to prison too, and it's like, these are your icons.
The person who's on the song Florida Water with him is Gunna, who I love. I love Gunna. I love Moneybagg Yo. I love Young. I love their music. Gunna's in jail right now on RICO charges.
Exactly.
Like
this is not just a stereotype. It's the way it is. I'm sorry.
It's like you promote the culture you want to create, and this goes back to Andrew Tate. Why is it okay in music, but it's not okay if it's not music? Well,
apparently it's not always okay in music.
But in this one, it's because it was created by a group, and the guy even says, like, look. I'm the guy Martini. What's his name? I'm gonna go back up here and find. So the group it's a group called So the song is Florida Water, and it's the signed the record label was the first major deal with a virtual artist, which was co-created by Anthony Martini and Brandon Lay. L-E, is that pronounced Lay or Lee? L-E. So it says, who are behind the company Factory New, which specializes in creating virtual music artists. This is the way they're going, because they will keep all of the money.
Yep.
We have the Capitol Records preemptively fires FN Mecca over racist lyrics. And then they go down here. It says, technically speaking, FN Mecca is voiced by a human, Martini told Music Business Worldwide. But everything else about him, from the lyrics, chords, and tempo underpinnings of his music, is based in AI. We assume this means they can't offer any parameters, like not being racist. That's AI for you.
So it goes.
Martini told the New York Times that Mecca was voiced by, quote, a black guy. He argued that it was not a malicious pattern of white executives. And in a crystal clear distillation of NFT brain rot, he said it's literally no different from managing a human artist, except that it's digital. Furthermore, putting the whole issue to bed, Martini told the New York Times that Mecca was, quote, actually one of the most diverse teams you can get. I'm the only white person involved. So I will ask the question that the industry blackout, the activist group, if there are black or people of color, individuals of color involved in that project, aren't you taking money off the table for them?
You are. That's correct.
Way to turn it on them.
That's a good point. It's true.
Aren't you suppressing minority voices by doing that?
Not only are you putting them behind the scenes, you're also taking all the money out from under them.
Well.
For you,
oh my, how the tables,
The tables have tables.
How the turntables.
Oh, the turntable.
I will say that I don't disagree with the appropriate, like the concept of saying that it's appropriating black culture if one of the, but even then, okay, so is it appropriating black culture for a white guy with a diverse team of people to create a fake person to make or like hip hop music? How is that any different than a white executive hiring a black individual to make the same type of music, while likely taking just as big of a cut? Is that any different?
I don't think it is any different.
I don't know. But this is the world we're living in now. We just did a segment the other day talking about virtual influencers. Ooh. How they're hiring virtual influencers because they're scandal free.
That's a good
in
point.
South Korea. They can't be corrupted.
That's such an interesting idea.
They have causes. Like they literally have their own activist causes.
They're like printed out for a cause.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all they talk about.
I have this other one over here. This goes to the same. It says this goes to the same topic. Virtual influencer Lil Miquela is now the face of PacSun.
What?
Not a real person.
Why is that okay?
PacSun's latest spokesperson has started calling herself the queen of the metaverse. For all the competition there suddenly appeared in the space, she does boast an advantage. She already lives online. The retailer is entering a partnership with Miquela, the internet's first ever virtual influencer. The two will join forces on social content as well as back to school and holiday campaigns throughout 2022. Miquela, also known as Lil Miquela, first gained traction on Instagram all the way back in 2016. Although she has all the features and mannerisms of a 19-year-old, the LA native exists solely online. Still, she has 3 million Instagram followers known as Miquelians.
That's pretty good.
Can we stop racing towards the most terrifying timeline ever? I am
good.
so sick of this, dude.
It's
We're
it's
speed
insane,
running,
dude.
Get on board.
So it says it leaves they leave hundreds of comments on her posts complimenting her youthful look and authenticity.
She's
Hell?
authentic.
What?
Not a real
What fresh
thing.
hell
What do
is
you
this?
mean? She's not even real.
Dang, you're blowing
Oh
up
my
the mic.
god, it's just.
It's too much. I agree.
So who is making this money? So it's the people that created Michaela that keep the money. I mean, it's not really any. Okay, let me rephrase it. How is this any different than a company owning Mickey Mouse?
I mean,
Except for
She
they're not
looks more
licensing,
realistic.
but they're not licensing Mickey Mouse out to other companies. So
But the difference is it's. I think the word is anthropomorphize.
anthropomorphized?
Yeah.
Yeah. that's
That
right. Yeah,
it's that. It's like. It's a human simulacra. Like we're at the point where like humans are no longer the best humans. And like you could say apparently that people of their respective genders are no longer the best version of their respective genders.
Exactly.
It's like the life as it exists in nature is suboptimal according to demonic corporations.
Yeah. Well, okay, so as far as I'm concerned, this just tells me that the metaverse is going to just take over our brains immediately. There's going to be none of this trouble. Tim's always like, oh, people are going to be so troubled and disturbed by this. I'm like, no, they're not. They're going to think it's great. They're going to think these are real people.
The younger generation.
I don't
I've
think
got
so.
it. I've got it. You know what we need to do? They need to hire Aunt Jemima back and turn her into a actual character that has a personality online, not just a logo. Do it with I want Mr. Clean to just be a dude who has his own social media platform where he cleans the floor in his all white clothes. That's what's going to happen.
Psychopath.
The thing is, Brett, if Aunt Jemima were to be in the metaverse, she would be a single she-boss cat mom.
Yes, Queen, yes.
With like 1,000 degrees in feminist dance theory.
Yeah.
Who's an attorney and at the same time, I don't know, whatever, like a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Does it ever bother you that like when men make a lot of money, they end up wanting to marry women of no means because they want to have kids, but when women make a lot of money, they want to marry men who make more money than them still.
Hypergamy. Yep.
Well, I didn't want to.
That's what it's called.
We're not talking about Andrew Tate anymore,
Right,
so I didn't want to say
But
the
it's
H
a
word,
thing.
but
It's a real
it's
thing.
So I mean, here's the other thing. Lil Michaela can't decide to have a family.
That's true too. She'll be working forever.
She'll
be 19
work
forever.
forever.
Yeah.
They will work her into the ground.
Oh, poor Michaela.
FN Mecca can't get arrested or get in trouble
He's not a they, them.
or say something that offends someone.
Yeah.
Because I mean I guess he can, but it ends up being the coder that says something.
Someone else's
I mean, he's
fault.
not employed anymore, so F some chat.
Well, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I implore all of you, when the show's over, don't do it yet. Go and listen to the the Lil Bitcoin song. It will make you laugh. It's literally called Bitcoins. It will. It's literally they have like their own record. It's Lil Bitcoin and Crypto Chris, and they have a record label called Crypto Money Records. And it's like they just ripped off the logo of Cash Money Records. It will make you want to just ask the bus to stop so you can get off here. It does.
It'd be dope if they did a song with Max Kaiser,
That would be hilarious.
who had to like leave in shame where is he now?
Oh,
So
I
it
don't
says
know.
on paper or should we say on screen, Michaela is the perfect candidate for sponsorship. She'll never age. Clothes will always fit her perfectly in advertisements, and she'll always do exactly what you ask of her.
That's right.
While virtual influencers do pose a threat to the careers of IRL models, the metaverse seems to be the ideal outlet for humanoid digital creations. I'm telling you, every company is going to start monetizing this with
Why wouldn't they?
With their like Mickey Mouse will be a influencer in the Disney version. When
Disneyverse.
Disney has like their own corner of the metaverse, when the Disney World has their own online metaverse, they will absolutely use Mickey like a humanoid.
This is not something I was hoping to ever see, but now that I see it, it really kind of makes sense because someone like this will never be on drugs. They'll never go to jail. They'll never have their own opinions. They'll never even eat food.
They can even have controversies. They just get to pick which ones.
Right. Carefully curate which ones. This is better than a human.
They will start having like different virtual rappers will have affairs with different virtual influencers.
Oh my gosh, just for the drama.
Yes, just for the
Just for
drama.
the drama.
And people will buy into it because that's the world we live in now.
Yeah, it's
It
exciting.
will end up on an infographic on someone's Instagram or someone's TikTok, and it will.
So excited.
It's so creepy.
I'm just curious how much fake people are going to be able to handle before they're like, give me something real.
I made the argument the other day. So we need 10 years. We need to stop making movies with human characters and just make them with animals in cartoons. Because all we care about is race, gender, sexual orientation, race swapping characters to fit quotas now. If you change it and you make it about animals, then it forces people to work harder.
That's a good point. So, I like it.
Yeah. I don't know what to even that, like they could theoretically take Michaela and change her appearance and make her pregnant if they wanted to have her have kids.
If they need to like model maternity clothes. Yeah, there you go. And they could pretend she has kids. Oh, look, she's a mother now. You should listen to what she has to say because she's raising her digital children. She's just terrifying. Like you. This is horrible. I don't like it.
It's terrifying.
Don't like it at all.
It's the world we live in now. It's virtual rappers.
Yeah.
Virtual rappers. All right, let's do super chats.
All right, Hobbit. Overlord.exe canceled for imitating Andrew Tate. I'm not familiar with that at all.
That's Doom.
Doom reference?
Doom the YouTuber.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Overlord DVD. Not,
okay.
.exe. Sorry.
Sorry.
Don't. I caught it. Hobbit. I got it. That was a mistake on my part. I was like, that doesn't seem like something that guy would do.
Jonathan Harris says, the thing is, from that picture, I thought that it was a real rapper, not an AI. I just want to see someone's reaction to a real rapper using its lyrics.
Yeah. In the video, like there's like they took the sound off SoundCloud, but there's like there's no video for it where like Gunna's rapping with him. I was hoping for that, but it's not. It's just like a video that's like because the song that they did is like a remix of a song that Gunna already did.
Oh, okay.
So it's like they used like the original video and then just changed some parts of it. So, I was hoping to see like Gunna there with the virtual character, but they didn't do that in the one that I saw.
Oh, that would have at least been interesting.
Yep.
All right, Waffle Sensei says, this robot got what it deserved. Freedom of code doesn't equal freedom from consequences. You are unplugged, sir.
Oh,
indeed,
my gosh.
Indeed, you are.
Cancellation's even worse when you're a rapper for Capitol Records, but you don't have a soul. You just have an algorithm.
To be fair,
what's the
most
difference?
Musicians don't really have souls anyway anymore. Dragon's Talon 1001 says Silicon Lives Matter.
Maybe the problem is like the Illuminati are just like too full up now, and they can't afford new members, so they had to get virtual people that can't be members.
I think you're right. There you go. That's probably it. Jonathan Harris says, I would like to sue Capitol Records for racism against black coders.
Yeah.
I programmed the AI to perform that way. Hey, you might have a case. I'm just saying, if you are a person of color who coded the AI, then you should be free to have them say whatever you want. In my opinion. I mean, I think you should be any color and be able to say whatever you want, but if we're going down this path, yeah, I know,
okay,
crazy.
Also imagine like you could take FN Mecha and have him appear in video games.
That'd be fun, right?
Don't they put like skins for like Fortnite with like real people all the time and stuff like that? You could have him as a playable character in like that crappy new Saints Row game just came out. They're gonna put him in Saints Row.
Yeah,
but it's like I just don't like. So he gets canceled because he like represents like a bunch of stereotypes and he takes money away from like African Americans. Like, isn't this like Paxson girl taking money away from women?
Yeah.
Well, but she's like a woman of color, so I feel like.
Well, even worse, she's taking away money from women.
Well, no,
of
the
color.
pyramid is such that if you are these things, you have that victimhood. Even if you're an AI person, right?
I'm confused.
I think they're going to make the case that she is a person of color, even though she's in the metaverse. She's still victimized. It's very systemic racism, Dane. I feel like you don't fully understand.
I don't.
How ingrained it is.
Thank you for teaching me.
You can't escape it. You're welcome. I'm just saying they're going to use that. I'm terrified of the future. Thank you all for this. Bad App says, what happened to Miracle Sam? Miracle Sam is downstairs doing the important work of keeping us all safe and making sure that nothing suspicious ends up here. We appreciate what she does very much. Nathan Koss says VR workers will be a thing until they unionize.
Is that could they unionize VR workers? Is that possible?
Imagine.
That's a great question.
I saw a thing today about like stripper unions on the Hollywood Reporter. Like, well, because they fall under a lot of the same like union guidelines as performers, like stage performers.
Nice.
So.
Excellent. 1,000 Foot Deep End said, saw this today. Why read a dystopian novel when you could just pay attention to what's going on around you? 100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening here. I don't like it.
It's terrifying.
I have a theory that everything that's happening right now in the human meatscape, the meatverse, I guess we would call it.
The metaverse?
Yeah, the metaverse is what's going to be happening in the metaverse in like 2 years. Watch. We're going to have all the same problems. We're just going to be prettier. and we're gonna not know what each other looks like, and we're not gonna know where.
Nah, dude, like
same problems.
They're already talking about like sexual harassment in the metaverse.
That's
like
what I'm saying. Same problems, same racism. We'll just take all our problems with us.
Yeah,
it's gonna suck. It's gonna be even worse.
I'm sure that there'll just be like a subsection in the metaverse where it's like no lame people.
Yeah, no lame people. Yeah, I believe it. Dragon's Talon 1001 says bring back Max Headroom. Great idea.
All right. Let us move on and let's go into Podluck. So a couple of a couple of weeks ago, we did a topic where we talked about how a specific university had added a course on Harry Styles.
That's right, at Texan University.
Yes. Was it Texas that did that?
Yeah, it was in Texas.
Well, Texas is back in the news, ladies
boy.
and gentlemen. The University of Texas to offer a Taylor Swift songbook course.
Okay, I have a lot to say. May I?
Yes.
Okay, so we just had this huge debate about forgiving student loans. And can I just say that this course is the perfect example of why we should not do that?
Give
me an effing break.
Abolish generals. Abolish generals.
Generals?
You should only be taking courses relevant to your degree.
I say seize the endowments. These colleges have billions of dollars.
Yep.
We need to get rid of them.
I love, there's some hilarious.
I say we should do like a class act, like as a person with like copious amount of student loans. I think we should do a class action lawsuit against the universities because we did not get, the X amount of I didn't get $80,000 worth of knowledge.
That's fair.
Like straight up.
That's fair.
Like, can we like round it down to like a number that's actually realistic?
20,000.
Sure, and I'll pay for it, you know. But I mean, I'm gonna pay for it anyway.
My favorite part here is the heavy editorialization at the start of this article, so I'm gonna read it. It says the University of Texas at Austin is offering a brand new course on Democrat activist, pro-abortion, pro-China, climate change hypocrite, pop star Taylor Swift this fall semester, titled Literary Contests in Context, the Taylor Swift Songbook.
How do you really feel about that, Breitbart?
This was written by a woman named Alana Mastranello, who I looked up. She's a good-looking woman.
She's a conservative.
Yeah. Can confirm.
She's an attractive woman.
Lovely lady.
She seems. Has she ever been on the show?
She's not, but I'm sure she will at some point.
If she does, make sure I'm on the show that night. I want to be on that show.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Brett. Duly noted.
The school's English department made the announcement on Facebook on Monday, in a post that describes the course as one that provides an introduction to literary studies and research methods that uses the songwritings of Taylor Swift as the basis for teaching a wide range of skills.
Listen, like again, like
it's
not
like they're laughing at you.
Yeah, it's very
beyond that. But like, for example, I went to the University of Denver for a degree in emerging digital practices, and I got on a course that's called Visual Programming 2, where we learned a visual software called Max MSP. That course and several other courses became pseudo-feminism courses. And I had like a media course where I was forced to write a 15-page essay on Beyonce and her album Lemonade, and specifically about the male gaze in a music video. And I got a B on that paper. Imagine how much how much I can suspend disbelief where I got a B on a 15-page paper. And the notes were, it sounds as if you're knowledgeable on the subject, but that you don't believe in it.
What?
So it's like I went for an education.
Which you got.
Exactly. And what I got was like an attempt to brainwash me. And so here's what I'm saying. Like, I understand people's claims is like, like I don't want to foot the bill because I didn't pick it. Buddy, me neither. Like, trust me, I didn't choose like a pseudo-feminism course. Like, I should be compensated for false advertisement.
It's possible that the bigger problem is not that everyone's doing underwater basket weaving. It's that every course has now become the underwater basket weaving.
Yeah.
There is no escape.
There isn't any.
It's not how it should be. They have too much money.
First-year liberal arts honors UT Austin students will be prepared for advanced work in the humanities and potential application to the English honors program, the description added. First-year undergraduates can take the Taylor Swift course, which will be taught by Dr. Elizabeth Sela. The University of Texas at Austin did not immediately respond for comment, but then they go on to talk about how the institution institutions of higher learning now offer all different types of bizarre courses that make many questions the true value of an accredited degree from one of today's universities.
Exactly.
In 2019, a Portland State University professor revealed a class that he taught called Queer Ecologies, which sought to encourage students to start rethinking the nature of nature, with some of the topics being discussed in the course included queering settler colonialism and queering science. In 2020, Washington and Lee University offered a course entitled How to Overthrow the State, which included encouraging students to engage in producing a manifesto and writing a persuasive essay on rewriting history and confronting memory.
Wow.
All of those pale in comparison to having to do a course on Harry Styles, I have to say.
Agreed.
Now, the funny thing about this is, this came to my attention right before we went live today. Taylor Swift is being sued.
Oh.
Your book, your Lover book's a total ripoff. So she's being accused of plagiarism.
Oh, my.
So I wonder if they will cover that in the course on Taylor Swift's songwriting.
They better.
Also, I want to know if like all the writing in the course have to do with like hating like your boyfriend?
Yeah, it would have to. That would be where you would draw your inspiration. You have to break up. You can't be in a happy relationship.
What if you're a gay woman?
That's a good point.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah.
I want to know.
This is anti-lesbian.
I want to know.
You're right.
Taylor Swift flipped through an old poetry book and decided to hijack the vibe and design for her own offering nearly a decade later, at least according to a new lawsuit. A woman named Tessa Ledart had filed a lawsuit against Taylor Swift claiming that she and her company lifted crucial elements of her own published work, a 2010 book called Lover, that includes poems, anecdotes, and poems for Tate's 2019 book of the same name. Yes. Of course, Taylor has her Lover album, but this lady is going after her for the accompanying book she released as a companion piece for the hit record. Per the docs obtained by TMZ, Ledart insists that similarities between what she put out almost 10 years ago and what Taylor released are too close to ignore. She says her book was widely available, insinuates Taylor & Co. saw it and essentially created a carbon copy trying to pass it off as original. There's some similarity there. In the photo style. I don't know if I would say that it's lifted from that.
That's going to be a hard time to prove that.
It's a very hard thing to prove. So maybe they can do a course on like avoiding like paying lawsuits.
Getting sued, yeah.
Yeah. like a course, it's a course on getting sued for copyright.
Yes. Perfect.
Cuz she fights for her, she fiercely protects her IP and her music and stuff like that.
Understandably.
So it goes without saying. Would you take a Taylor Swift course, either of you?
No.
Okay, how about this? If you could have a course on a celebrity that would actually be fun, what would it be?
Ooh. I would do a course on somebody like one of my favorite authors. I view them as celebrities.
Okay.
I would take a course about my favorite author.
Man, what is this, Hannah Claire?
Oh,
Nerds.
Come on.
Nerds all around me.
It's true.
So who would it be?
What about you, Dane? It would be Terry Pratchett. What about you, Dane?
You know it'd be Ye.
What?
Kanye?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Obviously, how to be based with Kanye.
That's right. I love it.
I want a Michael Bay movie course.
Oh, yeah? That'd be
That
fun.
sounds awesome.
How to blow
Just watch
stuff,
a bunch of
how
Michael
to blow
Bay
stuff
movies.
up and objectify women in 120 frames a second. That's what I want. I want that course.
That's awesome. I agree.
Yes. So we got a couple more here, guys. So believe it or not, Steven Spielberg is not as virtuous as you would believe.
What?
He's being called out for climate hypocrisy after showcasing the private jet fuel costs that he paid. And imagine, like, the funny thing about this is, leave out what he pays, leave out all the hypocrisy. All you have to do is just not be an insufferable douche.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all
not
you
that
have
hard.
to do.
These
All
people
you have
can't
to
do
do
it.
is not virtue signal.
They can't do it.
Like, nobody would care if all they did was not virtue signal, right?
Yes.
Like, there would still be the weirdos who care, but nobody cares about those people. Like, there's the people who like criticize, was it Kylie Jenner or Kendall Jenner, whichever one's dating Travis Scott, with their private jets.
Right.
And they're like, but you know, those people are unimportant and they basically live on Twitter and Tumblr.
Listen,
Right.
Like,
Hollywood's a cult, and you don't get in unless you're that type of guy, gal,
Yep. True that.
or they, them.
so he has forever been an ardent climate change activist. However, many left-wing cultural figures in America these days are, and it allows for their activism to run headfirst into some dicey territory. Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
A New York Post article recently cited ABS-B exchange flight tracking data later compiled by celebrity jets. It's really creepy. There's like whole websites dedicated to like tracking celebrity
That's creepy.
Private jets.
Yeah.
And it says 2 particularly notorious private jet romps include 3,589 miles from West Hampton, New York to Amsterdam, Netherlands. Total fuel cost $21,183. Total emissions 32 tons of carbon dioxide. Amsterdam, Netherlands to Rotterdam, Netherlands, followed by a return to West Hampton, New York, July 1st. Total fuel cost $24,685. Total emissions 38 tons of carbon dioxide. Well, that wouldn't matter to me if you weren't a virtue signaling douche.
Yeah, I don't care if you, whatever. Just don't tell me what to do in the meantime.
In total, Spielberg's jet spewed, I love the language, spewed 179 tons of carbon dioxide within just 2 months of traveling. For comparison, the average American's annual carbon footprint is 16 tons.
They don't want us to have straws, Brett.
No, they do
These
not.
people. Unbelievable.
I love the picture of John Kerry here.
John Kerry.
It says that private jet is his only. I also saw something today. It was like I didn't even pull up the article. If I'd been thinking better, if I'd been a better host, I would have pulled this up to combat it. There was a thing about Meghan Markle getting seen flying like business class, and they were like,
wow.
"Oh my God, yes, Queen," for taking like flying with the plebs.
Good for her.
Basically. Like, no, she shouldn't have to. She's rich and famous. Do I like Meghan Markle? No. But if you're rich and you want to freaking fly private, you should be able to. But if you're an environmental activist,
then you shouldn't.
Business. But I'm saying, like, it's her fault for caring so much about such a fake, not fake, oh my God, not fake cause, such an over-the-top thing to care about for celebrities when it's all virtue signaling. Not fake, not fake, not fake. What I'm saying is that when they start talking about emissions in China and India, then I'll listen.
Exactly.
Until then, I'm not
fair.
going to listen.
That's fair.
I believe I saw an article that said that basically if everyone like stops drinking from plastic straws and does everything blue-haired feminists wanted, like still like 80% of the emissions would go down because of like China and India.
Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah.
So it's like, what's the point?
What's the point?
So before our last topic, this is an absolutely ridiculous story, guys. California sheriffs conduct unauthorized raid of Indiana-based Batmobile replica builder. Can you get Tim to buy me a Batmobile?
I am offended. Yes, let's do it. 100%.
I kind of want to see if Tim will buy me a Batmobile.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Just
there's
ask
a
him.
Hall of Fame for legendary Giga Chats, but if there is one, this guy deserves
He
it.
does deserve to be in
Are you
it.
kidding me?
So basically, a sheriff in San Mateo County, that's California if you didn't know, ignored any sense of the term jurisdiction in order to raid a custom car garage in Faraway or
Faraway, Indiana.
Faraway, Indiana. It's like Far Rockaway.
Yeah.
That builds replica Batmobiles for clients.
That's nuts.
How did I not know this existed? Sheriff Carlos Bolanos sent a group of 4 men to raid the shop of Fiberglass Freaks in Logansport, Indiana, the only place licensed by DC Comics to specialize in building custom Batwheels, particularly the 1966 model. So this isn't like something this dude's doing like out of a back alley. He's got a license with DC to do this. So that's going to cost a fortune to make these. According to ABC7 in the Bay Area, Bolanos did this for a connected friend, a realtor named Sam Anagnosto? Anagnosto? Yeah, sorry, I know I was going to have trouble with that one. Who ordered a Batmobile costing a whopping $210,000 from Freaks. I mean, that's a lot of money.
I
but
already don't like the direction this is going, though, because he's cashing this in for a friend.
Yep.
WTF.
So, how do we say it again?
Sam. Call him Sam.
There you go.
Sam and his own social media profile video attests he likes the finer things in life and catching waves. Apparently, he doesn't like to wait for them either, as the reported reasoning behind him seemingly cashing in a favor for Bolanos was that he could no longer wait for his ride to
Give
come.
me a
So he's
break.
just, are we there yet? He's the are we there yet child in a car.
Yeah.
The wait is upwards of 2 years, but that's because Sam missed paying a $20,000 installment of his total and disappeared on me for 8 or 9 months, according to Fiberglass Freaks owner Mark Rakop.
Wow.
Rakop, yep.
This is
Mark,
just a test.
Mark
Yeah.
then I'm just going to say first names. Mark then prioritized the other 9 Batmobiles ordered and moved Sam down the list. He didn't like that and he exploded. He didn't pay off the entire car at that point, but he was absolutely livid to find out that his car was going to be delayed.
He did pay off the entire car at that point.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh,
He did pay off the
Okay,
entire
yeah.
car at that point, but he was absolutely livid.
Because he got
Bumped.
pushed down the list because it took him
Sure,
forever.
because
Yeah.
he didn't pay.
How much is a Batmobile?
$210K.
Bro, I gotta save up.
Yeah.
That
time
beats
to
a
save
Bugatti
up.
any day.
Yeah. What color's your Batmobile?
Yeah, Andrew.
Imagine taking that to the DMV. Like,
Fun.
So this guy got raided, and then he says they showed the warrant saying that they were here to seize anything to do with his car. So I thought, oh, they're coming to pick up his car, which is right behind me. By the way, I thought I was going to have to move my other Batmobiles out of the way to be able to take them this car. But they didn't want the car. Instead, they took Mark to jail for an hour, froze his bank account, and got a warrant for his email and contacts, and charged him in California with felonies of obtaining money by false pretenses and diversion of construction funds.
Okay.
Total crony grift.
Okay, can I
dude.
just say Sam filed a complaint with police in Atherton, California, where he lives, and later a lawsuit in San Mateo Superior County Court alleging breach of contract and fraud. Both were dismissed. Charges were not brought by the district attorney, as the cases are a matter for the Indiana courts.
But it did cause this guy a whole bunch of harm, hurt his reputation, I'm sure.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that Sam had no case in California. He had nowhere to go, so he turned to his cop friend, and he's like, hey, I want you to, do this for me. That's insanely corrupt. That's infuriating.
That's why I'm,
Holy crap.
taking the Blue Lives Matter sticker off my...
Okay.
like, little side note, when the first time someone asked me, like, what do you want to be when you grow up, I said Batman. And then they told me to be realistic, and I said Rockstar.
There you go. Yeah,
Perfect.
exactly.
Well, now you could at least drive like Batman.
Yeah.
Damn.
That'd be so cool.
Also, I contend that anytime you get in that car and the car starts moving, you have to say no.
Oh my God.
Like it's not really allowed otherwise.
It's not optional.
Like, and all dates when you pick them up, you do so and call her Selena.
Oh my God, dude! I'm telling you, eccentric millionaire Dane is all about this.
He's like, let's do it.
How isn't there video of like Batmobiles running around?
Look at these cars.
They're so cool. Holy cow.
What version of the Batmobile is it though?
I don't know what that. I guess that one would be from if that's from 66. But
this is so neat.
Adam
Holy
West,
cow.
Yeah. So
Adam West. Love that guy.
So yeah, from Batman the Cape Crusader. I didn't watch the 2016 one. It is hilarious to me. I just the man interferes yet again.
How dare he?
Cronyism, man. It's a
Dude, these
bad
things
thing.
shoot flames. Unbelievable.
What?
Is it street? I wonder if it's street legal.
I don't know.
I don't think
See, the
so.
question is, can he build a tumbler like the one from
A
The Dark
Tumblr?
Knight? That's what they called the Batmobile in the Christopher and Christian Bale Batmans. That's called the Tumbler.
That one would be more dangerous.
Basically like a tank.
Yeah.
Nice.
Incredible.
So
All right, let's do some super chats.
All right, let's go. Let me see where I was. Sorry, I got to scroll back up. Oh, crap. Where was I, Brett?
Jonathan
Remember
Harris, I would
last-
write an essay based on a Kanye song.
No. Okay, here we were. Bring Back Max Headroom. Okay, that's the last one we read. Got it. Now we're back on track anyway. Jonathan Harris says, I would write an essay based on a Kanye song. You were correct. Yes. Would you write an essay based on a Kanye song?
More so than Beyonce and the
Seriously.
male gaze.
Yeah.
Like, imagine to be forced to write 15 pages
That's insane.
on that.
That's
the
torture.
And the only source material I had was like a Beyonce music video.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
freaking,
How much can you say about it?
dude, I did it. I don't know how.
Magical. Dragon's Talent says Alex Jones' voice. They're turning the frogs gay.
That they are.
Howls and the Kids says I had a class on X-Men.
I
Hey,
don't doubt that.
that's more interesting
That's
than
cool.
Beyonce. Give me a
even
break.
even that now is like, oh my God, it's the civil rights movement.
But the thing is,
and
like, I'm
Malcolm
sure-
X and Martin Luther King, blah 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 blah. I don't care.
But the thing is-
I'm so past caring.
Yep.
I'm sure she chose the class. I didn't choose a Beyonce class. You know what I'm saying?
imagine
I
that you
choose like
would.
a media
you.
class. And I got an essay on the male gaze.
That's not fair. Lindsay says the slogan is keep Austin weird for a reason.
Yeah,
It's very weird. We like
yeah.
Austin.
I have more than a few friends in Texas, and it always seems like Austin is the
It's weird, right?
Yep.
Yep.
We were there, weren't we?
Yeah, we
Is that
were.
where
That was
last-
not too long ago. That was
No,
in
that was-
November.
Almost. I mean, not. It was, I mean, it's almost
Yeah,
a
it
year
was
ago
almost a
now.
year ago.
It's-
Holy
I
cow,
was
you're
thinking about
right.
that the other night because
Yeah.
I've been my I don't know if your phone ever sends you like if you have like a
You were
like
here.
a OneDrive.
Yeah.
Like you were here on this day, like you were on this day, and my phone loves to send me like really really horrifying images of myself that I never want. I don't.
Voluntarily say
Yeah,
again.
like but like yeah, I got one. I was like scrolling through and doom scrolling and ended up looking at some stuff from November of last year and saw some photos from there.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun trip. 1,000 Foot Deep End says, did the FBI write how to overthrow the state? How to overthrow the state course? That's a great question.
That is
I would not be surprised at all. Ailison says, I would take a course on how to do the hustler. How to be a hustler. I don't know what a hustler is. It sounds like a very specific thing.
I mean, if Andrew Tate is
there's an academy for it.
Yeah, there's
right?
a whole college for it. Hustlers
There's
Academy.
A whole stream about it. Jonathan Harris says, Brett, check out the channel Leto's Law. He's been covering this from a legal perspective. It's really insane. It sounds like a crazy case. That's infuriating.
Sounds like insane corruption.
Yeah,
like, holy crap.
indeed. I mean, it is California. Give me a break.
That's a fair point.
Ivan Ortiz says, Dane, let me be your guy in the chair.
Granted.
That sounds suspicious, and I don't like it.
You're not a fan?
That sounds weird. What is the guy in the chair?
Dane?
I don't know.
Dane.
But,
You're like, I know, I'm going with
I
it.
like the moxie. No one else asked.
Yeah, it's true. Good point.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We went lengthy on the FN Mecha stuff today, but it's a terrifying pop culture has a terrifying future ahead of us, guys. It's all gonna meld with like the real world, and it's gonna suck. So, yep. Dane, let everyone know where they can find you, buddy.
At Dane Font on Twitter.
Oh,
did it slow today? Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what she said. Okay.
Anyway, you guys can find me tonight on Timcast IRL, 8 to 10 p.m. We have a James Lindsay tonight.
Oh my gosh, it's
spoiler alert.
I'm gonna let you guys in a little secret. I don't geek out when there's guests here very often, but I might have geeked out a little bit when Lindsay was here last time. It did happen. So what are you guys gonna talk about tonight?
I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Probably about his relatively recent cancellation. We always have a great time talking, especially before the show. James is wonderful. I know you guys all love him. You know him, you love him. Come see him tonight on Timcast IRL, 8 to 10 p.m. And the bonus segment, I'm sure, will be great.
Spicy, I am sure.
I'm sure too.
He rules.
He does rule. He gets super spicy. You guys can follow me on Twitter, minds.com, at sourpatchlids, as well as sourpatchlids.me.
Perfect. Guys, if you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Brett Dasovic. For the show, we are here every Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. With my hopes and prayers that we will have Mary back tomorrow. So we are hoping for that. If you'd rather listen rather than watch, we're on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, wherever good podcasts are sold.
The best.
We are also on, we're on Twitter at popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at popculturecrisis, and on Instagram at popculturecrisispod. Did I do that right? Or did I screw that up today? I did that right.
He's like, I think you got that right.
I got that right. We will be back with another episode tomorrow, guys. We'll see you then.
Bye.